Hi there, Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai. Today we're going to work on my Schefflera Bonsai again. I posted the first video midsummer, and we have a club bonsai show coming up on September 17th. So I've got 29 days to prepare this tree for the show. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to defoliate it and prune our main tree back down to size. In the last video we left the main tree to grow to thicken it up for the summer, so we've done that. It hasn't grown as much as it did last year, and I think that's because it's in my greenhouse and it probably isn't getting quite enough light. My greenhouse is covered in a white plastic, and so I think after we defoliate it, we'll leave it outside in full sun and try and get the leaves as small as we can. So that's what we're going to do today. So we'll go in and have a close-up look of the tree. The roots are growing nicely. Our moss is getting a little long again. We'll have to give that a final trimming. We're getting new growth on a lot of our pruning cuts where we did before. You can see it sprouting out here. So yeah, it's time. We've left the main tree to grow, so it's getting quite long. It's outside of our canopy or umbrella canopy profile, so we're going to hard prune those back, and we're hoping, we've got 29 days, we're hoping it sprouts new smaller leaves, and we're going to also defoliate all our older leaves off. So all this new growth, we'll keep the smaller leaves that are growing in and get rid of everything else. So the tree's going to look pretty bare when we're done, but we're hoping it all fills in for showtime. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and remove all the older leaves. So we're going to keep all our new growth, but all the older leaves are going to go. So we're cutting them off. We're leaving our leaf stems. They'll fall off as the leaves get a little older. And again, leaf pruning like this should only be done on a healthy tree. If your tree's weak and you cut all the leaves off, it's just going to get weaker and could even kill the tree. So our tree is really healthy looking. There's no problems with cutting all the leaves off. That's new growth. Even though this is new growth, I'm going to cut it off. We have one leaf here, and in the full sun they'll probably grow back in even smaller. This tip here, I guess it was left untouched, so we should prune that back because it's really healthy and it's got a lot of new growth on it. So we're going to take that back, and we try to prune to an outward facing leaf so our branches continue to fan out from the main trunk. So I'm going to take it right back to here. There we go. Get that out of there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to touch the top, the main tree for now. We'll save that for the next step. So we'll come back when I've defoliated the tree. On a lot of these lower branches or lower trunks, I didn't prune the horizontal growing branches. We only pruned our upward vertical growth. So everything we wanted to grow the canopy wider, we left untouched. So at this point, we're going to go in and prune the tips of these horizontal branches off. And we're going to prune to an outward facing bud. And that will give us a little more ramification. one's probably okay. So that's what I'm doing also, is just doing some tip pruning on the branch or the trunks that we didn't touch, or branches. We're almost done pruning our lower trunks. So now it's time to tackle the main tree. So we're going to go in. Now remember, we're after a flat umbrella canopy. So we're going to go in and we've got to pick a pruning point for these main trunks that will also have the branches fanning out, but we're going to shorten them down. So this one, for instance, we're going to prune to this outward facing leaf. So our new growth will come in the direction we want. And we'll also leaf prune all the older leaves off it. And get rid of our old stubs that have fallen when we remove some of our lower leaves. They almost fall off by themselves. So that's what we're doing now, is pruning the main tree back to get it in check. Now, on some of these trunks on the main tree, we don't have any more leaves on the lower trunk, and we want to prune back to this growth. So we're looking for a leaf scar, an outward facing leaf scar. So you can see one here, so we'll prune it back to this point. There. Which is also in check with our profile. And again, on this one, we don't really have a good outward facing bud. There's one back here, so we can prune it back to there. This isn't the main tree, but we're gonna prune it back to here. And back to here. And this one, we'll take it back to here. So we're hard pruning the main tree. We're going back into the growth is still green, but it's really old. And once we've done this, we'll go in and check the tree over structurally, make sure we don't have any shoots growing in the direction we don't want. We'll prune those off, and we'll just check our overall structure again and see if there's anything we can do to improve it. Okay, I finished the leaf pruning and tip cutting. So now we're going to go in and look at the structure of the tree. And what we're looking for is things like this. If we come over here, we've got a nice horizontal branch here and here, and this one's kind of growing vertical and it's getting quite long. We want this branch to be stronger than this one, so we're going to cut this one back. And because this is getting into the old wood, I'm not really sure of the direction if I prune it where the new foliage is going to sprout, but it doesn't really matter on this branch because it's a vertical branch, so you know it'll probably sprout somewhere, maybe a couple of sprouts, and fan out. So it's okay. We want to keep this shorter, so we're just going to go in and prune that off like that, and that'll sprout, and this will keep a bit of foliage on our branch, but this will be the main leader of the branch. So we're going in to look for things like that. Some of the jumbled areas, if we come over here, we can see again we have a horizontal branch here and a vertical one that has started to sprout. So I think we've got to take that right off. Yeah, I just don't like the direction that's growing in, so we're just going to take it off. That was not a very nice cut. Okay, this is where I need better bonsai tools. There. And so that's the kind of thing we're looking for. Here we have a horizontal branch back here, and this trunk line is coming up, or branch line is coming up, and it's not a bad direction here. We've got a sprout on this side and one on the top, so we're going to take the top one off and just keep the horizontal branching. So those are the things we're looking for. Now, if we step back and look at the overall canopy shape, we can see our main trunk back here should be the highest point. Yeah? Okay, I got called away there and I've lost my train of thought, but I'm getting it back. We were looking at the height. I was saying that the main tree here should be the apex of our umbrella canopy, so that should be the highest point to our planting. Now this tree is getting a little high here. It's actually the same height. It's actually the same height as our main apex or main tree. So we're going to have to prune this tree down. It's just getting too long. So we want our branches to fan out, so we can definitely remove some of this vertical growth back here. And I'm thinking maybe pruning it off to this point. So we'll keep this as our main branch leader, get rid of all the back stuff here. And the height of this one, we'll probably have to, sorry, I'm not pointing there. There. The height of this back branch here, we'll probably have to prune it off shorter. And again, the same with this one. We'll probably have to do a hard prune back shorter. So we'll do that. I'm going to do that right now. So we'll start with this. We'll start with this back branch. Now, we want to keep our umbrella shape, so we don't want to prune it too short, but we want to prune it shorter. So I'm thinking right in about here is about the right point. So there we go. And this one, I'm thinking about here. And again, we were going to get rid of this top part. I just missed that again. And on this one, so I've pruned these 2 points. On this one, we're going to prune it right back. Let's get over here. So we don't want, this branch is growing in towards the design or in towards the main trunk. We don't want that. So we're going to take that off for starters. And then we're going to prune back to here for this main trunk. Now, I want to get a good pruning line. So we're going to come in here like this. That's good. Okay. And then we also want to prune this one off shorter. There's an outward facing leaf scar there, so we'll prune it off to there. And that's more in check with our overall profile. Okay, so we're looking at the main tree now, and we want to give that a structural pruning also, because it's just been left to grow. So we're looking for branches that grow inside. I think we'll prune this one off a little shorter here. Here's one here that we don't want. It's growing towards the inner structure of the tree. So that's gone. I can see in the future this branch being sort of our main trunk line, because it's coming towards us, and it kind of, most of this tree is going towards the back of the planting, so I can see this becoming sort of a prominent trunk line in future. The rest of that looks fairly good. I'm just looking at got we've got to kind of imagine our canopy here. And we're just looking for branches and stuff that are kind of out of line. That one's already being pruned. This one's maybe getting a little long here. So, no, I think we'll leave it. It's not too bad. I think the rest of it's fairly good. Again, any branches you prune off, like this one, it's a little stub. They make great cuttings. You know, you get a nice woody trunk and some movement already. So we'll save those and plant them. Just taking a last look here. There's in here, here's a branch that's really conflicting with this other one, so we got to take that off. It's gone. This one is starting to cross over in front of our other trunk, so we're gonna prune that back. We're looking for a scar, so about there. Get rid of that. Now we did some corrective pruning last time on this branch. We shortened it, so I think we're gonna have to shorten this one also. They're starting to cross over. So we're gonna prune this one back. That one looks okay. We've got one back here. We've got kind of two branches coming out from one point. I think we've got to shorten this one up. Grow this one as our leader. And this one is more of a downward facing branch. And this one, we just want to nick the tip off it. Like so. Old stem I'll get rid of here. And the rest I think looks pretty good. So let's just go back and have a look at it. Yeah, I think that's gonna do for now. So we're gonna do one final thing. We're gonna give the moss a final pruning. You can see from last time we did it, sorry. You can see from last time we did it, it's getting a nice fine layer. It's not coarse. So again, we're just going to go in and give it a trimming. And this will make the moss look really nice for the show. It'll be nice and flat, dense. So that's what we're going to do. So as I said, our club show and open house is on September 17th. If you're in the area, you can come by and check it out. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Admission's free. And you can come and see some of the trees that the club members are working on. So that's it. The next step for this tree, hold on. I just saw another trunk I got to remove here. I don't like this one. It's crossing in front here. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Like so. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so yeah, if you're in the area, come check out our club open house and show. And the next step for this tree is to let all the new growth come in. And we're hoping to get a nice small leaves and a a nice looking canopy on top. And another advantage of leaf pruning is that when the new leaves do come in, they're all fresh leaves. They don't have ragged edges. They don't have, you know, stains from watering or anything. They all look really nice. They'll look their best. So that's it for now. So Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai. We'll see you next time.